Princess Isabella has turned 18 and has been given a tiara, one with some pretty historic connections to the female line of her family. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Royal Fashion News, your place for all those who have a passion for royal fashion. And today we're talking about the bestowing of the turquoise daisy bandeau tiara to Princess Isabella of Denmark. This came via her grandmother, Queen Margrethe, and it has a pretty cool history, but it also raises some really interesting questions because one of the problems that the Danish royal family has had is that over time, especially with Queen Ingrid and then Queen Margrethe and other issues, the tiaras within the family have been pretty severely diminished to the point where Queen Mary is making tiaras out of diamonds that have been in the treasury, resurrecting a really, really old tiara that's sort of reminiscent of Roman times. And so they've been really trying to dig into the vaults to try to find things. And we have another instance of perhaps a tiara leaving the main line of the family. So we are going to discuss all these details today. I'm so excited because I was there to celebrate Princess Isabella's 18th birthday just a little over a week ago now at the Royal Copenhagen Theater. And she had a concert gala, so a lot of young people attended. It was really, really cool to see her. She looked absolutely amazing. And the big question I had in that evening, and I'm so bummed that I don't think, shared my thoughts on maybe what tiara she might have, because I was kind of hoping maybe, just maybe, it would be a tiara event. That didn't happen, but for her actual birthday, which is April 21st, so they ended up celebrating her birthday on the 11th and the 15th. And so the big question was, because again, I was really hoping it was going to be a tiara event at the concert, would she get one given that she is the second child of the king and she will not be a working royal? So if you don't know, it's been stipulated already in Denmark that basically only the king and queen, so Frederick and Mary, and their firstborn child, Crown Prince Christian, would get a salary from the state. Their three other children will be essentially on their own. So that includes, obviously, Isabella. So the big question was, would she get anything? Because she could inherit, let's say, her mother's wedding tiara. Her mother also purchased an Edwardian tiara. And so it was like kind of hanging out there because she won't really be a working royal, yet at the same time, she will probably attend some big events. And so we were just absolutely blessed on Monday, on her birthday, to see these gorgeous pictures of her wearing her new tiara, the turquoise daisy bandeau. And I had stipulated and suggested that this might be a good tiara for her. It's a low profile, it has historic connections, and it would be something that she could really readily use. And so, just a little bit of the background for this tiara. It was first owned by Princess Margaret of Connaught, who was the great great grandmother of Princess Isabella. And it came to Denmark via Princess Ingrid of Sweden, because Margaret married the Crown Prince of Sweden. Unfortunately, she passed away before he ascended the throne. And Ingrid, who was her only daughter, ended up going and marrying Crown Prince of Frederick of Denmark. And so she brought this tiara over with her in addition to many other tiaras. Now, what is sort of interesting is that I do have a book from Denmark that I translate from Danish, and it does go over some of these jewels, and it doesn't concentrate a lot on the turquoise, but there's a turquoise tiara and brooch. And it seems to be that maybe some aspects of the brooch or maybe even the tiara came from Russia and the court of Catherine the Great. So just putting that out there. Anyways, so this originally was given to Margaret as a bracelet, but could also be turned into a tiara. If you've been watching this channel for a long time now, you will know that one of the cool things about tiaras is that they can be very, very versatile. And so this includes this particular piece. And so it was given to Ingrid as a confirmation gift. And we actually have a picture of her wearing it here in 1928 in traditional Swedish court dress. So it's a very sweet picture. It looks like she's getting married, but that's not actually the case here. And so after her marriage, it obviously came to Denmark. And eventually it was given to Queen Margrethe. So it wasn't really worn a ton as far as I could tell. I was looking through some pictures, trying to find some older pictures of this particular piece. Doesn't look like it was used quite a bit, but it has shown up on the head of Queen Margrethe, and it also has appeared on the head of Queen Ingrid's other granddaughter, and this would be Princess Theodora of Greece, because Queen Anne Marie, who was one of Ingrid's children, her youngest child, actually ended up marrying the future king of Greece. And so one of her daughters wore it for the 40th Jubilee of Queen Margrethe. So it is one piece that you could say particularly is attached to the female line of the family. So those who are descendants of Princess Margaret. And then through her Queen Ingrid, through her Queen Margrethe, and obviously down to Princess Isabella. Now, what's really cool is that Marguerite's nickname is Daisy, and I think maybe Ingrid's was too. So there's sort of this connection with just the name and Daisy and everything, which is really cool. And when it comes to Princess Isabella, she follows a little bit in that track because her name, her full name is Isabella Henrietta Ingrid Margrethe. So she has all those names. So it's very, very fitting that as the firstborn blood princess of her generation, the daughter of the king, it sort of makes sense for her to have this particular tiara. It's the appropriate size for somebody of her ranking within the family. And it's also just, again, you have that tradition going through the female line of the family in particular. So I think that's actually really great. I love it. So, if you're wondering about sort of the details and how it's made up, the tiara, according to the royal household, is made up of gold and adorned with 11 rosettes of daisy like flowers of decreasing sizes made of turquoise and diamonds. In addition to that, the book I have from Heidi Laura also states that there's some silver in there, which makes sense as well. And I've been trying to actually get a Danish book. So if you see this book in Denmark, I would not mind having it. I've been on the lookout because maybe there's more history of this particular piece in there, but I was really, really excited to actually be able to see some great detail pictures that they took of these. Again, I would say that the Danish royals, I would argue, are probably have the best social media presence, I would say. They have great pictures, and I particularly love this picture of sort of a just kind of Princess Isabella. Her mom happened to catch this picture. It seems like the lighting was just perfect. And she's on her phone, probably texting somebody, maybe her dad or her friends, of pictures of her in her gala attire and everything. And so it just seems very fitting and very like casual yet serious. I think the Danish royals above pretty much every royal family has a really good social media game. But the big question with this particular piece is, of course, what it means for the future of the Danish royal family collection, because there is an interesting situation here to consider, which is that it says, according to the statement, and this was even actually the title of the article, you could say, by the Danish royal household, which stated that this tiara was a gift from Her Majesty Queen Margrethe on the occasion of Princess Isabella's 18th birthday on April 21st, 2025. So, why is this, you could say, an issue? Because it sort of implies something that could diminish the already really microscopic Danish royal collection. So, there were actually quite a few of tiaras within the Danish royal family, but Queen Ingrid, which I would argue this was a bit of a mistake, decided to gift all three of her daughters an 18th birthday tiara. Two of them were made out of different pieces of jewelry. I understand. But then she also gifted each of them another tiara when she passed away. So, what this meant was that two tiaras left the main line of the family. One in particular is worn by every female descendant of Queen Ingrid for her wedding. And the challenge with tiaras leaving the main line of the family is that if those disparate factions, so in this case, Queen Ingrid's younger two daughters, hit on bad financial times, either themselves or their descendants, then those historic pieces, which should belong to Denmark, end up being sold to cover something like taxes or something like that. And you just got to wonder if this tiara now is falling into the same trap. And you also have the case with Denmark. And I don't know how this would be handled when she passes away, but Queen Margrethe accidentally sort of gave a tiara instead of lending it to Countess Alexandra, formerly Princess Alexandra, who was married to Prince Joachim. And so when they divorced, she ended up actually getting to keep the historic Queen Alexandrine tiara. And it's hers now. And so you have this other tiara that's left. So you have at least 3 mainline tiaras that have left the family in the last couple of decades. 2 pieces of jewelry that could have been made into tiaras that were given to her younger children, which I would say that's probably what she should have done. I don't think she should have given them more. I don't think that was necessary. I appreciate it. And you actually had the case as well where technically she left the Danish ruby tiara and jewelry to Crown Prince Frederick at the time, now King Frederick. So that also as well was not even left to the queen. And there's 1 or 2 other personal tiaras that Queen Margrethe still technically owns. But this sets up, I think, a big challenge. Now, it could be the case here as well, looking at what they shared about it, is that royal household again stated, quote, like many other pieces of the royal house's jewelry, the tiara has multiple functions as it can be disassembled and used as a bracelet. Now, what I'm hoping this wording might mean is that, yes, this tiara was a quote unquote gift to Princess Isabella, but via the family. So Queen Margrethe had stipulated, which would make sense. I'm giving this back to the main line of the family, but exclusively for the use of Princess Isabella. So it remains technically owned by the Royal Foundation, what have you, the Danish king. It sort of technically is owned by him, but with the understanding that it is a gift to Princess Isabella to use in her time as a royal. And that's what I'm hoping happened here. I don't have any evidence of that so far. I feel like we're getting inconsistencies here, but to me, this is huge. I really hope that's the case. And the reason is not that I don't want Princess Isabella to have a personal tiara that she owns. I think that's great. But when it comes to especially historic pieces, I think it's better if it's like a tiara they purchased for someone. But when it comes to historic pieces, again, you don't want to run the risk of, let's say 50, 60, 80 years down the line. Princess Isabella has given this tiara to a member of her family and they've fallen on hard times and they decide to sell it because then you have, again, another historic piece leaving the family. And that is what I'm really hoping doesn't happen here. We won't know for sure. Maybe we'll never fully know, but I really hope that is the case. So when it comes to Princess Isabella's overall gala look here, guys, I think it's absolutely smashing. I think she looks amazing in the orange, which is really paired well with the turquoise in her tiara, which I will say will probably be tricky for her to wear sometimes. I mean, probably the best way to go is just to say, screw it, I'm going to wear whatever color I want. And the turquoise there is the turquoise. Now, maybe she can wear, let's say, I would say green would probably sort of not be a great color that maybe her mom could lend her, maybe her wedding tiara or something that goes with that a bit better. But I'm really hoping Isabella can wear this tiara as much as she wants to for sure and is figuring out ways to wear it. She does have her Order of the Elephant. And so that is the blue sash she is wearing. It's the oldest order of chivalry in Denmark, and it was established in the 15th century. So for those of you who guys don't know how this works, that means the 1400s. And the elephant itself is apparently something that has been belonged in the family and has been refurbished and includes the king's monogram. So somebody asked me on X and I wasn't able to answer it, but I'll answer it here. Do we know who this belonged to previously? No, but obviously this did belong to somebody. And so the Order of the Elephant, the royal family says, is generally worn as a sash, but on certain holidays, including the 1st of January at the New Year's table, the Order of the Elephant is worn in the characteristic chain. So the chain is really, really cool. I'm hoping that maybe we see Isabella for the New Year's events here in Denmark later in 2026, believe it or not. And then she will also have a personal coat of arms painted, which will be hung in the Knights Chapel at Frederiksborg Castle in Hillerød. So I'm super excited to see another young royal lady donna tiara for the first time. It's magnificent. Now we have a couple of ladies upcoming who haven't worn tiaras yet, which we may see this year or maybe a couple years. We have Princess Alexia of the Netherlands. She is the second-born daughter of the king and queen, and also her younger sister, Princess Ariane. So their older sister, Catherine Amalia, has worn several tiaras. And the question is, when will they? They haven't attended a state function yet, but I'm looking forward to it. We also have Princess Leonor of Spain, who is the future queen. She has not worn a tiara yet. There's not a ton of occasions you could say to wear tiaras there in Spain, but I'm looking forward to maybe seeing her busting it out sometime this year or within the next couple. She should be, though, in Washington, D.C. in June, Princess Leonor, as she finishes up her training on a Navy military vessel that has traveled from Spain all the way to the United States doing training. So very exciting there. Just so amazing to see young royal ladies busting out tiaras we haven't seen before, trying to find their way through using the various royal collections and everything. It's just so deliciously fun. And some of the families are just more creative with the jewelry. I would honestly say the Brits are a little dull when it comes to utilizing their immense collection, but the Dutch, the Swedes have been always known for being very creative with their tiara collections. And Queen Mary has been quite creative with the Danish collection and trying to stretch it to the best of her ability. So I look forward to seeing more and more in the future, guys. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of this tiara talk. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again soon. Bye.
We don't count the carats, we count the centuries.